SAJAK, and I want to welcome you to Mount Vernon. You know, I've had the pleasure of traveling to all 50 states in this great country, but if there's one place that really is a home to all of us, this is it. Some 80 million people have walked through those doors and seen one of the most authentic historic homes in America. George Washington once said that no estate in the United America is more pleasantly situated than this. As we all know, Washington never told a lie. I hope you plan to spend most of your day at Mount Vernon because Washington's estate reflects his true personality. Washington's mansion, which he expanded several times, is the crown jewel of Mount Vernon. But there are 11 other structures which date to Washington's lifetime, including the stables, smokehouse, wash house, and the spinning house. And don't miss the large brick building that housed slaves on one side and tropical plants on the other. Other highlights include the upper garden, where flowers reign supreme, and the lower garden, where vegetables, herbs, and grapevines are beautifully blended, and the fruit garden and nursery with their peaches, pears, and, yes, cherry trees. Although it's a bit of a walk, Washington's tomb is a must-see experience. A few yards away is the Serene Slave Memorial, a modern tribute to the slaves and free blacks who toiled on the Mount Vernon estate. Further down the hillside is the Potomac River itself. It's hard to believe, but it was so full of herring in the 18th century that Washington's men could net 1.5 million fish in just a 6-week season. Depending on the season, you can take a quick spin on the Potomac. The views of the mansion are spectacular. The George Washington Pioneer Farmer site really brings history to life. Costumed interpreters plant and harvest crops. And you'll see one of Washington's best inventions, a treading barn that revolutionized the processing of wheat. Those who are in as good physical shape as George Washington might like to take the forest trail to learn more about the plants and animals that called Mount Vernon home. Others might like to take advantage of what's called the motorized carriage. Be sure to save time for the new Donald W. Reynolds Museum and Education Center, featuring 3 theaters, 23 galleries, and 9 video presentations that cover every exciting chapter in Washington's amazing life. And in the midst of it all, you'll find the most famous dentures in American history. George Washington was an astute businessman, and apparently Martha Washington was a pretty enthusiastic shopper. In just 1 year, she purchased no less than 20 different hats and a dozen fancy fans, so don't hesitate to follow in her footsteps. There's a small shop in the historic area and a much larger shop at the Mount Vernon Inn complex, where you'll also find the food court and the charming Mount Vernon Inn. Just between you and me, the peanut and chestnut soup and the old-fashioned bread pudding are pretty terrific. When you finally get back to your car or bus or carriage, there's still more. Just head down Route 235 for 3 miles and you'll come to General Washington's cutting-edge grist mill and completely restored distillery. In fact, we think Washington had the largest whiskey distillery in America. The mill and the distillery are both fully functional, but sorry, there are no free samples. Now I know what you're thinking. How can I possibly experience all of Mount Vernon in just a few hours? The simple explanation is that not everyone can. Instead, they plan a return trip, which has another big advantage. Mount Vernon really changes from season to season. It truly is a living, breathing plantation. So sit back and relax for the next 18 minutes in the Ford Orientation Center. You'll need to conserve your energy for the adventures that lie ahead. George Washington really was a remarkable man, and I think you'll discover that for yourself over the next few hours. Thanks for coming, and enjoy yourself.